Hi, Fleurette here with Ink on 3. Today we're going to make this really pretty Sweet Petunia card using coordinating stencils, stamps, dies, and ink. We're going to start out creating our background for our stamp. We're going to use the Curl stencil and we're going to do some ink blending with the Blackout Detail ink. It's a great ink for stamping. It works great for sentiments. You can use it with Copics, but you can also use it to blend backgrounds. Now you're probably looking at that thinking, why is that background so splotchy? Well, I actually was going for a variegated look. I didn't want a smooth finish for my first layer, and I also wanted it to be kind of a light gray for the background. This is going to give us some dimension. I'm going to take that same Blackout Detail ink, and this time I'm going to get more ink on my brush, and I'm going to apply an even pressure around the whole thing, and I'm going to go around in sections. You'll also notice that I taped the stencil to the back of my card. That keeps it in place as you're stenciling, but leaving it so you can move it around. So I'm going to remove the purple tape, which also keeps it comes off the card very easily. It doesn't rip your paper. But here comes the favorite part where we get to see what we actually stenciled. It's like a big reveal. This never gets old. Look at that background. Isn't that gorgeous? Now we're ready to stamp. I'm using the Misty Stamping Positioning Tool because this is a really large stamp, and this gives me the ability to stamp it multiple times if I need to. This ink is great for an image like this with all that detail, and you're going to see how nice and crisp that comes out. Look at that. Now we're ready to stencil. What I love about this stencil is each stencil is marked 1, 2, and 3 to make it really easy for you to coordinate with the Sweet Petunia stamp set. So I'm using the first stencil. It actually has a number 1 marked on it, and it has some registration marks too so that you can line it up perfectly every time. I used a smaller piece of paper, so this time I'm lining it up using some purple tape, adhering it to the back, and you're going to see how easy this is to do as we go along. So the first layer, I'm using the Sweet Petunia ink, and I'm doing a very light layer. Oh my gosh, look at that! I just love seeing how that lines up right over my stamp. It makes it so easy to color in, and I can do multiple. So now I'm taking the second stencil, which is marked number 2. I'm leaving my purple tape on the back of my card base, and I'm lining it up. You just can eyeball it right here and take your time doing it, and you'll be able to see exactly where you need to line it up. So I'm going to use that same color ink and lay another layer over it. That's the really nice thing about Atelier ink, is as you layer it, the color is going to get a little darker. So it gives you the ability to get multiple colors out of one ink. I'm going over all of the edges just to make sure I get all the little pieces, and I really wanted to get kind of a darker color, so I used a little bit extra ink there. And now we're gonna peel that off, and we're gonna see the second layer. Oh my gosh, how easy is that? I don't know, I just find this so fun because it's layers it right over the next section. You get that beautiful shadowing, really easy. Now here you can see we have the third stencil, number 3, and there I'm showing you how they're cut out to make it easy for you. And I'm going to then line this one up, taking my time because this is for all the little leaves in and the stem, and I'm going to take my time and line all of that up. If I had used a larger piece of paper, I could use the registration marks that are on each corner. You can see that's the little square in the upper left corner, and then there's another one in the lower right hand corner. And you would just then tape your piece of paper to that, and then you could put some ink blending right over those squares, and it would be easy to line your stencil up each and every time perfectly. But this is an easy stencil to use, and it's really easy to line up just as it is. So now I'm going to fussy cut my flower out because I want to have it as a different layer. Once I had everything cut out, I glued my flowers onto my card base. I'm putting some foam tape that I'm going to stick my sentiment on. That is from the My Sweet Petunia stamp set. This is such an easy card. It literally only took about 5 minutes to stamp and stencil it, and so it makes it really easy for making multiples, or if you just need a quick card that you want to give to someone. You can find links to everything I used in the description below. Hope you'll hit the subscribe button and see you next time.